Twins look to make it 3 in a row at home as they continue the series against Detroit. It's game 2 between the Twins and Tigers tonight inside Target Field. Welcome to an absolutely beautiful night for baseball, everyone. I'm Audra Martin. Yesterday's homecoming for Ron Gardenhire didn't go exactly how he would have liked, as he saw his former team come from behind to take the win in game 1 of the series. But that loss, of course, is not about to tarnish what was a remarkable career for Gardy here in the Twin Cities. Before making it to the major league level, he spent 3 seasons managing in the minors, earning co-manager of the year honors in 1990. And soon he was off to the big leagues. And after 10 years on the Twins coaching staff, he became manager in 2002. His 13 seasons resulted in more wins than any other Twins manager, along with 6 division titles. And now, the latest chapter of his career brings him to Detroit as a 38th manager in team history. Earlier today, he was mic'd up for batting practice as his new team prepares to give him the win against his former organization.
I'm mic'd up, remember this? I'm mic'd up, so you be careful. You watch yourself, all right? More than anybody else, you watch yourself. That's my idol right there. Hey. Ah!
Beloved manager here, and now he's taking over the Tigers, and he's going to try to beat us.
They fired me.
No,
they fired me.
I didn't.
The Twins fired me.
But
rightfully so, though. I deserved it. I earned it. That thing has no hair.
See that?
What the heck happened? That's a Chrysler right here. I don't have any more hair to lose, so it doesn't matter. It's all gone, so I can't rub any more out. Now Toby's down in, managing in Cedar Rapids with the Twins.
Yep.
And I told him, I said, so you happy? You like it? And he's like, I really like it, Dad. It's fun. I said, so you're going to have no hair when it's all said and done. Managing makes it fall out.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, not me. I'm like, oh yeah, you.
We'll see. Well,
I had hair too.
Yep.
I got so many numbers now, you can't believe it.
Thanks, Gardy.
Okay, there you go. My pleasure.
Thank you. Coming up, Eddie Rosario was a one-man wrecking crew last night for Minnesota. Dick Bramer and Bert Blyleven take a look at how it's all coming together for the Twins left fielder.
link, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by Northland Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today.
The Twins have had a tough time winning series at home. They've got a chance to do that early in Game 2 between the Tigers and the Twins. And the Tigers will send their best starting pitcher so far this year. Left-hander Matthew Boyd will make the start for the Tigers. And the Twins will send Lance Lynn to the mound, hoping to get his season turned around. And we welcome you to Target Field. A very pleasant night here at the ballpark. Dick Bramer along with Bert Blyleven. The Twins, of course, had a disappointing April, but they put together a winning month of May so far, and one of the big reasons is Eddie Rosario.
Well, you look at Eddie Rosario, you look at a guy that loves to play the game. I think he wears it in that uniform right there. And what he has been able to do in the month of May, look at the average right there, 364, extra base hits, 9 doubles, 6 home runs. And let's also talk about his defense. But right here, offensively, a ball that not too many guys could hit. You can see it about eye level. Hit a double, and then right there, smartly seeing that Martin was hesitating, throwing that ball back to the infield, later scored, and then the way to end the ball game, hit it to Eddie Rosario. Right against the wall, a little face plant. Eddie Rosario not afraid of the wall. This guy, young man, is exciting to watch.
Twins hope that later in the month of May they can get to and then over the 500 mark. They'd like to pick up another win tonight against the Tigers. Was a major factor, obviously, in the Twins' win, particularly in the last couple innings. And we'll see if the Twins can, in fact, win this series a little early here with a day game coming up, a noon game tomorrow. The man was kept very busy yesterday, of course, after managing the Twins all those years and returning as manager for Detroit. He was just as busy tonight. Very popular personality in baseball, now in his first year managing the Detroit Tigers. And here is the Menards batting order for the Tigers in tonight's game 2. Leadoff man is Leonis Martin, then Nicholas Castellanos, Victor Martinez, John Hicks, Nico Goodrum, Brian McCann, Jacoby Jones, Jose Iglesias, and Dixon Machado.
And tonight's starting pitcher stats are brought to you by Home Furniture. And that would be the numbers of Lance Lynn making his 9th start, looking for his 2nd win. Very high earned run average. Too many walks for Lance Lynn. In 37 1/3 innings, they see the 29 walks, 2 intentional, and the 41 strikeouts.
Twins out on the field. Rosario in left, Buxton in center. Ryan Lamar just called up after the game last night. He'll start in right field. Escobar, Adrianza, Dozier, Morrison, Mitch Garver behind the plate. And no, the Tigers did not make a trade. It's not the first time I've made the mistake, and it won't be the last time either. It's James McCann, the Tiger catcher, not Brian McCann, the Houston catcher. Lance Lynn hoping to get his season untracked. It has been a very disappointing start to his season, and he needs to do a lot more of that. First pitch strikes.
A big thing for Lance Lynn, and I know I talked to him the other day about staying over the pitching rubber into windup a little bit longer, allow that arm to catch up. That's exactly what he and Garvin Alston have been working on in between starts.
Slowing things down a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's slowing it down, but just over the rubber. There's Garvin.
Well, it's kind of what the Tigers did with Matthew Boyd. He's actually incorporated a hesitation in his delivery sometime to try to achieve the same result.
Allow the arm to come through. Good fastball there.
And we've seen Lynn reliant, maybe overly so, early in the ball game with his fastball.
Well, you know what? The big thing, once that pitching rubber, watch how he utilizes that pitching rubber to drive off. Okay, good balance right there. Good follow through. Allow that arm to come through. But sometimes he gets underneath the ball because his body already committed toward home plate.
Fastball up and in, and Martin spins out of the way.
I mean, you're talking about a big man too. Lance Lynn at 6'5", about 275, what they list him at. So what he wants to do is just get to that balance point. A little step back. Pretty simple. There, now explode.
There's a pop-up, and tracking it is Escobar, and no play. On the other side of the netting, if not for the netting, and we're a big advocate of the netting, but if not for the netting, he may have been able to reach in and pull out the baseball.
But that would have been an out in Oakland.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And it hurt, and he didn't end up with a baseball. Talking about the fan, not Escobar. 1-2. And a fastball at 95 that knifed inside and got strike 3.
Well, he could pick up some strikeouts, averaging almost 10 strikeouts per 9 innings so far in his first 8 starts.
Tigers scored 2 runs last night. Castellanos drove them both in, and it's been a continuation of a really hot 2 weeks for him.
Yeah, he's swinging a hot bat. You can see how he's done over the last 15 ball games. Comes into this game hitting .316.
And so with one down, Castellanos, who after Martin's strikeout in the first inning last night, hit the first pitch over the wall in center field for a home run. And there's a 96-mile-per-hour fastball on the outside corner and another first pitch strike.
Well, Lance Lynn just making his 3rd career start against the Tigers. A lot of these Tiger hitters, not much history against Lynn.
One line to right field, and Lamar cuts it off. Castellanos with a 1-out single, and that'll bring up Victor Martinez.
Let's take a look at the Pizza Ranch for the win tonight. Lance Lynn needs a quality start. He has 1 so far in his first 8 starts, meaning 6 innings, 3 earned runs or less. Plain and simple. Get deep into the ball game, go 6+ innings, and give your team a chance to win the ball game.
In his last start against the Cardinals, and of course he was amped up because prior to coming to Minnesota, he pitched several years for the Cardinals. But he did not have a good inning of the 3 he pitched. And it was almost as if Paul Mahler said, look, it's not your day. I've seen enough. Took him out with 82 pitches thrown over 3 innings, but it just didn't look like it was ever going to get any better for Lynn. And so he was taken out early, and the Twins are hoping for a much deeper start here today. Ball 1 to Martinez. And now 2-0.
Well, what you said there too, 84 pitches in 3 innings. That's a workload right there.
But in terms of pitch count, there was hopefully another inning left, but Paul had seen enough, and you probably had it happen to you a few times too, where it starts off bad, it doesn't get any better. Here's a ball hit towards second. Nice stop by Dozier. They get the lead runner and a double play.
How about that?
A fine play started by Brian Dozier, and a hot ground ball is turned into a double play. A hard ground ball where Brian Dozier turned it into the start of a double play. And Paul Molitor in his 4th year hoping that the Twins can get a game closer to the 500 mark here tonight. The Menards batting order has Brian Dozier, Robbie Grossman, Eddie Rosario, Eduardo Escobar, Mitch Garver catching his 3rd game in a row. Then Morrison, Lamar, Adrianza, and Buxton.
And the Home Furniture scouting report on left-handed pitcher Matthew Boyd making his 9th start, same as Lance Lynn. Looking for his 3rd win. Very good ERA. Making his 12th career start against the Twins.
Brian Dozier's had good numbers against him. He tries to jump on the first pitch and skies it down the left field line. 1 pitch, 1 out. Dozier 13 for 30 with 3 home runs against Boyd, and he tried to ambush him on the game's first pitch. 1 down. Let's check out the Tigers in the field. Jacoby Jones in left. Leonis Martin in center. Nicholas Castellanos is in right. Goodrum at 3rd. Iglesias Machado up the middle. Hicks is at 1st. And James McCann is behind the plate.
You want to make sure you get James in, huh?
Well, it should be easy to remember for me because James is my middle name. Now you'd think I'd. But, you know, then I'll get it all figured out. Then we'll go down to Houston, and then I'll have to deal with Brian McCann, and I'll call him James.
It's okay.
Here's Robbie Grossman, and there's strike 1.
I wish we were all perfect.
But there's nothing wrong in trying to be perfect, you know?
Yeah, good luck to you.
1 strike. Well, every time you took them out now, you didn't want to even give up a hit, did you?
No, until that first batter got it. Then what do you do?
1-1 to Grossman. That's to right, and it'll carry to Castellanos, who makes a sliding catch out number 2.
Nice read right there by Castellanos. Got a very good jump on that.
Castellanos, of course, a converted 3rd baseman.
See him come running in. Good concentration. Open up that glove. And he does a good job of that while he does a sliding catch.
And I think Paul Molitor would like to see more of what he just saw from Robbie Grossman, and that is take the ball the other way. The Twins have really been flailing away at finesse left-handers in this homestand. Now Boyd throws the ball harder than the guy last night, but and a couple of the other lefties that the Twins have seen, but he has brought down his velocity a little bit. He's not trying to throw as hard as he used to. Dribbled up the line and a foul ball.
Well, Boyd does a good job of mixing in his pitches. Not only the fastball, you saw that last breaking ball, he'll change speeds on that. Tighten a tight slider that he may try to throw right here to Rosario, down and away, and a pretty good changeup. So there are you can see 41% fastballs. There's that slider I was talking about. Then the curveball and changeup, all 4 pitches. He has confidence in it.
Slow breaking ball, and it's lofted to center field.
Quick inning.
Just a handful of pitches and a 1-2-3 first for Matthew Boyd.
Time to get some scoop from the clubhouse. Paul Molitor pointed to 3 factors when it comes to the decision to recall Ryan Lamar after designating Phil Hughes for assignment. First, he says with the long start from Jose yesterday, they feel the bullpen is good to go with 7 guys for the next few days. They're also facing a lot of lefties coming up, and finally, that Ryan's earned a lot of respect in the clubhouse because of his determination and the respect he has for the opportunity to put on a big league uniform. Highly touted prospect Nick Gordon has been promoted to AAA Rochester. He hit .333 with 10 doubles, 5 home runs for Chattanooga, and according to Molitor, he's been solid defensively, making all the routine plays at shortstop. Trevor May is slated to go 5 innings, 75 pitches tonight for Rochester, then 6 innings, 90 pitches on Sunday. He'll be eligible to come off the 60-day DL after that, guys.
Thank you, Audra. In fact, Trevor May just came out of the ball game for Rochester. He went 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, including a home run to Trevor Plouffe, 3 earned runs, a couple of walks, and 2 strikeouts. It sure sounds like Trevor May and his return to the Twin Cities to the Major League Club is almost imminent. He's got 1 more start to make, and he will be back with the Major League Club about the time it looks like Irvin Santana will be back with the big league club. Hicks flails away, and a strikeout for the first out of the 2nd inning.
Strikeout number 2 for Lance Lynn, and also we want to wish good luck to Phil Hughes.
Now, Phil was designated for assignment, and his career with the Twins almost certainly over with.
Good slider right there. See the tight rotation, and then the ball just dropping out of the strike zone.
Nico Goodrum will bat. I want to go back to Nick Gordon, as Audra mentioned, being promoted from AA to AAA. He had .333 at AA so far this year. There's a swing and a foul, and of course his brother D, one of the reasons why the Mariners were off to such a good start. But not today. The Mariners put D. Gordon on the disabled list. He's got a broken big toe. His right big toe is broken. He's a left-handed batter, so he's dealing now with the same thing Byron Buxton has been dealing with. And he got the broken toe in the same manner, fouling a ball off his front foot. Sanford Health Injury Report: the Twins won't have to deal with D. Gordon when they leave here Thursday to open up the series Friday in Seattle. And there is some concern as well regarding Nelson Cruz, who was hit by a pitch in the elbow and isn't in the lineup tonight for Seattle either. They hope not to put him on the disabled list. But the Mariners, so potent with that lineup when they first came to Minnesota, have lost in recent weeks. Robinson Cano for reason A or reason B. And now Gordon's on the disabled list, and we don't know whether Cruz will be available this weekend. 1-2, and Goodrum, the check swing, rolls it.
Gotta get over
and
there.
Land just barely beat him.
Yeah,
Goodrum can run.
Yep.
Lynn can too, just not as fast as Goodrum.
Well, it becomes a foot race right here. See Morrison, it's got to be a good hard flip to Lynn, and that's where you want the ball as a pitcher. You want it before you start looking for the bag. So there's the ball. Now you look for the bag. You get that right foot on the bag before the base runner for the second out.
Here's one of the McCann catchers, James. McCann putting together good numbers.
Yeah, he's in his 5th season with the Tigers. His career about a .250 hitter, some pop in his bat.
And this Tiger lineup, not so much McCann because he's got some seasoning and some experience, but so many of the Tiger hitters in the lineup are inexperienced, and they tend to expand the strike zone a little bit. There's a pop up down the right field line. Lamar watches it sail back into the seats.
Well, we just showed you that graphic too. We said it was important for Lance Lynn, get ahead in the count. 5 of 6 first pitch strikes so far. So good start for Lance Lynn.
And 21 pitches thrown, 16 strikes. You see more and more pitchers do what Lynn just did. Look at his fingers as if there was a hot spot or a blister developing. And we've seen Lynn do that a number of times. Odorizzi has been dealing with that. Rich Hill had to come out of the ballgame the other night for the Dodgers because of a blister problem. Now, is that a function of the seams on the baseball?
It could be. It could be just the friction of the release. I know the pressure that you put mainly on that middle finger. I talked to Odorizzi today about that, and he's got that fingernail almost like a polish on there to harden it, but he's still in front of that nail, still has a little bit of a blister that turns into, say, a blood blister during a ball game because of the pressure. I think every pitcher goes through that.
One and 2 to McCann, 2 outs in the second inning. Jacoby Jones on deck.
Sometimes going back to that, Dick, sometimes, you know, you want to build up a callus because of the friction of the ball as it comes off, and also the seams have something to do with it more on your thumb than maybe your middle finger, but it's the pressure that you put on that middle finger. See the movement of what he's going to throw. And that's the slider. So you do that in your glove. You can see him moving the ball around.
And McCann gets a piece of it.
It almost looked like a two-seam, a good sinker right there. We talked to Jack Morris before about the split finger. I'm sure between his fingers he had quite a callus built up. You know, the way that he brought that ball down.
But Jack, as he's shown me the grip, and as he did in the pregame show, at least the fingers weren't resting on a seam. They were resting on the leather part of the baseball. Down and away, 3-2. in the back of his mind, if not in the front of his mind, saying no walks.
Well, he's got to get, again, you know, sometimes we have a tendency to rush out there. So that last pitch and a couple pitches in this at bat, starting to rush. So tell yourself, stay back a little bit longer.
And a ground ball up the middle, and Lynn doesn't like giving up base hits, but I'll bet you he was happy that McCann reached on a base hit rather than a walk.
Make them earn their way on, and McCann did get the 3-1 or 3-2 fastball right there, but it's a 2-out single.
And that'll bring up Jacoby Jones.
Baby steps sometimes when you're struggling to get back to where you want to be.
Well, if you just give up singles too, I mean, it takes 3 of them to score a run, right?
You
Most of the
so.
time. And now outside ball 1. Irvin Olsen. Driven foul.
I think Mitch Garver's job right here for Lance Lynn tonight is not move as much as, say, he did last night with Barrios on the mound, because Jose is throwing strikes. He's not walking a lot of batters, but here tonight he may move a little bit. There's a fastball, more of a two-seamer. Keep the ball down.
Now 2-1.
See how Lynn right there didn't really follow through. His momentum kind of carried him towards second base. So, especially at that two-seamer, you have to get out there with your arm and let that ball naturally sink. Another one now. Okay, you messed up the last one. Now make this one a better one. Good pitch.
2-2.
Better follow through right there. Look at the previous one. He kind of slipped a little bit, almost turned his back, but right there, good follow through, good location.
Drive to the left field corner, a base hit. McCann's around second, on his way to third. Rosario with a quick flip back towards the infield, and it's a 2-out single backed up by a 2-out double.
They just let that fastball middle in, not the same pitch as the previous one that he had a good angle. That one stayed on the same plane, and Jones took advantage of it. Trying to go back in, but you can see Jones opening up quickly. If that ball's down another 6 inches, he may hit a ground ball, but instead it's a double. For Jones, his 10th double of the year.
And now Iglesias.
This is the guy you want right here. 2 outs.
To center.
Perfect.
And Buxton retreats.
Good slider.
And ends the inning. The Tigers hit a couple of hits, but lead 2. Escobar will lead things off for the Twins in the second. Then Mitch Garver and Logan Morrison facing left-hander Matthew Boyd, who's done a nice job for the Tigers, giving them one quality start after another.
You know, he has 15 career wins. This is his 64th major league start, and he has 5 of those 15 wins against the Twins. He's pitched very well here at Target Field. 3 of his 5 wins coming here, and 1 of his 2 losses against the Twins also here at Target Field.
Outside ball 1. I asked Paul Molitor today about these finesse left-handers that have given the Twins so much trouble. Suter from Milwaukee the other night. There's a high pop-up near the tarp and out of play. And now in Boyd's case, he doesn't have a cut fastball so much as a slider, but he says what has given the Twins right-handed batters, including the switch hitters, so much trouble, they get busted in with the cutter or the slider, and they open up after that, and the outer half of the plate is wide open for the pitcher to exploit. And unless you stay in and do what Robbie Grossman did, successfully hit the ball sharply to right field, you just get tied up. You're so afraid of being jammed with the pitch inside. And there's a breaking ball in for a called strike, 2-2.
I was going to say, you know what, that first pitch, or not that last pitch, but the previous pitch, that slider down and in, then he changed speeds.
Right.
And now he tries to go back in again.
And now it's 3-2.
Boyd, pretty good control coming into the game. Only 13 walks in 48 innings pitched.
And Escobar on a pitch on the outer corner.
There's that changeup.
Yep. Pops it up to right. 1 away. That'll bring up Garver. The AARP take on the Twins' last 11 games against the Tigers, heavily in Minnesota's favor. Remember, they went to Detroit last weekend, next to last weekend of the season last year, and swept a 4-game series. So the lopsided Twins record really was benefited by the Twins sweeping the Tigers in Detroit in late September. Here's Garver.
Well, Boyd's doing almost what Hardy did last night. Hardy worked 5 innings. He did not give up a ground ball. Twins just hit everything in the air.
And it's the same thing happening again here tonight. 1 ball was hit sharply. That was Grossman. And now another pop-up foul. There. Guy got the ball, took his cap off his head, and made a nice catch. Two strikes to Garver. And predictably almost, Boyd went out there near the outside corner.
You almost like to do what Brian Dozier did last night on that changeup, just kind of dump it into right field. Ended up getting a double.
Sharply caught by the third baseman Goodrum. Well, Garver got something over the plate and hooked it down the line, and Goodrum made a nice play.
Yes, he did. He's fully extended on that ball right down the line. Don't know if it was going to stay fair or foul, but Goodrum kind of hugging the line, but Dove made a nice play for the second out. Good concentration, open up that glove, the ball falls in.
Candelario is going to be the regular third baseman, but he's on the disabled list. Goodrum gets a chance, turns in a nice play, and now Logan Morrison takes ball 1. Rosario and Morrison, the only left-handed batters in there, because Boyd has been really tough against left-handers.
Yeah, lefty's hitting only 146 off of him so far in his first 8 starts. Right-handers hitting 241.
1-1 to Morrison. Got an RBI with a walk in the ball game last night.
There are the numbers. All 3 home runs by right-handed hitters that he has allowed.
Checked his swing, but not in time.
It's kind of same thing in his career. He's allowed 55 home runs coming into this start, his 64th major league start. Only 8 to left-handed hitters. 47 to righties. So changes speeds well, uses all 4 corners of the plate.
And off the end of the bat, a little spinner fielded by Goodrum, and Morrison beat it out. Logan Morrison with an infield hit.
That ball had a lot of spin on it. Looked like Goodrum, when he got that ball in his glove, just couldn't get a good grip, and that little bit of hesitation allowed Morrison hustling down that line. See that? Watch right here. Just that, whoa, that little extra. Okay, I don't have quite the grip on that baseball as it kind of moved around. Okay, too late. Morrison beat it out. Should be a base hit, infield base hit.
Here is Ryan Lamar. Now, what we've been talking about with right-handed hitters and their unwillingness, if you will, inability, I hope it's not the case, but unwillingness to hit the ball to the opposite field, that's Lamar's strength, and that's one of the reasons why he is here and why he's in the lineup tonight.
Oh, he did a good job the first time around, and then when he was sent down, he didn't go down with his head down. He went down and hit 371 down in AAA in 9 ball games.
1-1 to Lamar. Lifted to right. And retreating near the edge of the track is Castellanos. He makes the catch. The Twins get a 2-out hit, but leave Morrison aboard. Couple of scoreless innings. The Tigers have 3 hits. The Twins have 1.
Go ahead, say what you were going to say, Jack. Rose.
The rose between 2 thorns right here. Yeah.
I was thinking more along the lines of a bologna sandwich myself, but
kind of a combination of the 2, I think.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Former Twin, former Tiger, Jack Morris, going to be with us here for a couple innings. Dixon Machado leading things off for Detroit, and he takes strike 1. Machado, Martin, and Castellanos facing Lance Lynn, who has retired the leadoff batter. In fact, he struck the leadoff batter out in each of the first 2 innings.
Jack, I know you pitched a lot of innings. I pitched a lot of innings. You're going to run through periods that Lynn has found himself in. I think the big thing for him, and I talked about it, is staying over that pitching rubber a little bit longer and trusting that fastball.
Yeah, you and I both pitched off the third base side of the rubber. He's on the first base side. I don't know what that's doing to the ball that's staying towards the left-hander's batter's box. It doesn't seem like he's able to get into a right-hander too often, but I totally agree with you. The front shoulder's got to stay in. He's flying open a little too much. Those are all mechanical things that guys know, but sometimes it takes video or a pitching coach to remind them and kind of get back in sync.
Yeah, Garver and Alston, that's one thing I know, talking to Lance just a couple days ago, that they really worked on, and also talking to Garvin about that. Now, when I have an opportunity to talk to one of the Twins pitchers, and I did the same thing in spring training.
Sure.
I want to talk to the pitching coach first to make sure that we're on the same page, because I don't want to tell a pitcher something that Garvin's not telling him.
Exactly.
That is hacked foul.
And most of the time, Bert, and I know that they welcome our comments, and as long as we go to them first and say, this is what I see, do you see the same thing? Usually we're on the same page. In the case of Lance, I think we're seeing a little bit better breaking ball tonight so far early on, but he's got to get to that breaking ball by establishing that fastball on both sides of the plate.
2-2 to Machado. Tapper to third. Scooped by Escobar. Chest high throw to Morrison. Well, Jack, you got a big moment coming up here. Just a couple of months now. You're almost there from the time the announcement was made. You'll be going into the Baseball Hall of Fame. And I would imagine by now, I know you were a master of preparation in your playing career, and you've got the speech all fine-tuned and ready to go. And it's Bert Till's
Have you even started it?
I have started. I have not rehearsed it verbally at all. It's certainly been many moments of thought going into it, and then forget that part, and let's not go there. Those kind of things. But
now Bert has told me that he and the other fellow Hall of Famers who will be there, they appreciate length in a Hall of Fame. So
he's
the
told me the
longer the
thing.
better.
No, I realize that it's going to be a long day with 6 guys speaking, and I'm certainly aware of the men behind me that have been through it all.
You know what, Joe, Jack, this is once in a lifetime, so you take what you need to get through it.
Yeah, and
I mean, the odds are that you're not going to get through your speech, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know. Vegas doesn't have good odds on me. I might prove them wrong. I might pull that rabbit out of my hat.
Wasn't it Bill Mazeroski that once he got up there, he
lasted about
lost
25 seconds.
He lost it. Yep.
He got a 6-minute ovation, but I don't think he said more than one word, did he?
I know your children will be there, your family will be there, your mother will be there. Excuse me, your father will be there.
Dad will be there.
Yeah, but your mother's there too. I felt my pops when I was there. I know we lost him earlier.
2 strikes to Martin. Just off the outside corner. When will it hit you, or has it already, that you're going into baseball immortality?
I don't know. I really don't know. Everybody has told me, Bert can probably tell you better than I can. I don't think until you're actually at the presentation do you really understand the magnitude of it all.
Dribbled up the line, Lynn. Missed the ball. He tried to pick it up with the glove, and watching Martin run up the line as quickly as he was, Martin will reach.
Yeah, it'll be an air charge to Lynn.
Well, another day of PFP for the rest of the pitching staff.
Right. Gets over there and
Peeked.
Get the ball in the glove.
Yeah, peeked a little bit.
I think what he wanted to do is try to tag Martin out and just forgot the ball. You know what, Jack? I think you're in the Hall of Fame, but it doesn't change us.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form. It's the greatest honor if you're a baseball player to be inducted, but once it's all said and done, now you're just a group of 200 some guys that have had the opportunity to be enshrined in Cooperstown.
Yeah, and I think you and I both, we grew up in an environment where our family was a huge part of it, and they've kept me grounded through it all. I've learned so much during this waiting time about who I am and what I appreciate and what I want out of my life. So those things haven't changed. I'm honored, Bert. You know that I am. You guys both understand me. I'm thrilled to death. But baseball isn't everything in life. And I don't mean that in any negative way. It's our life. It's been a huge part of all 3 of our lives here in this booth. But you know that life is bigger than just the game of baseball. And I think it took me a long time to grasp that, because you're so focused on yourself for so long in the career that you're trying to participate in.
But that career is getting you into the Hall of Fame with that focus and determination. So I think, if you want to get ahead in life, you have to sometimes sacrifice.
Yeah, you do. And you've really got to acknowledge the people that help sacrifice, you know, people that put in their time so that you could have the opportunity. And certainly we both have family members and coaching staffs and teammates that, you know, we'd never be here without them.
And you hope to thank them.
Yeah.
Outside again, and Lynn
got to get back in the strike zone.
Misfired badly. 2-0 now to the Tigers' hottest hitter.
And that's what we've seen in the past from, you know, Lynn right there.
Yeah.
Got to regroup, get back into that strike zone. Trust your stuff.
Well, 2 days in a row, Nicholas Castellanos has shown that he's handling the fastball pretty well. He did that twice against Brios. He got a base hit his first at bat on a fastball away. So I think they're trying to show him a little wrinkle, but you got to throw it for a strike.
Now, Jack, so since there's 6 of you, are going to about, what, 10 minutes apiece? Have they told you how long that your speech should be?
They've asked us to try to keep it to 8 minutes, Bert.
8 minutes?
8 minutes. And, you know,
I
I think that could be realistic if you didn't have anything to say, but I have something to say. And if I go over a little bit, I'm not gonna, you know, take advantage of it. But I've watched and listened to a lot of the Hall of Famers in the last couple of decades, their speeches, and you know, 15 minutes is probably the average of what I've been listening to. And quite honestly, to say half of what you want to say, it's going to take that long. I mean, I could spend 20 minutes just thanking people, and I don't think any of you guys want to hear that. So
don't worry, we'll be sleeping anyway.
yeah.
You ever noticed during the induction,
They all wear sunglasses.
They all wear sunglasses, and they're all sound asleep.
Well, when you get that age, you know, it's hard to stay awake that way.
3-1 now to Castellanos, and it will be. And I've been there for a couple of inductions, Harmon's in 1984 and Bert's in 2011. It will be the hottest day of the summer.
Oh boy, you had to say that. You know, I've been told that there's been, you know, 55-degree days in Cooperstown in July, so I'm hoping for maybe a 62, 65.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
3-1 to Castellanos. Runner goes and the pitch hit sharply. Nice pickoff. Safe at second and a lob to first. Dozier didn't get much on the throw. He may have had contact with the runner at second base. So Martinez safe at second. Castellanos is retired for the second out.
Well, a lot of times, you know, base runners will slide into second. I think Martin right here kind of standing up. Well, he got up and then slid up real quick, but the out is recorded at first. Martin moves to second.
Nice little play by Adrianza there. That was kind of a tough hop to field.
I think it caught Martin a little off guard there too. It looked like he hesitated instead of going into second base hard. He kind of held up and then they had to put on the afterburners again.
And now Victor Martinez with a runner at second and 2 down. The Tigers got a base hit in the first, but Lynn got a double play grounder. They got a couple of 2-out hits in the second and left them aboard.
Jack, you got to be happy going in with your teammate Alan Trammell.
You know, it really is special.
That's cool.
I couldn't have dreamed it. You know, we can both blink our eyes and remember that day we first met each other. You know, back in Montgomery, Alabama in AA ball. And boy, it seemed like, and it was a lifetime ago, but we were just kids. I mean, we had no concept of where we would end up here and at the same time in our lives. It's just it's really quite a remarkable twist,
man
I guess.
Can play, I'll tell you that.
Oh boy.
And that second baseman you had was pretty good too.
Yeah, and you know, like a lot of us here in Minnesota, we're pulling for Tony Oliva and Jim Cott. I am anyway. I know you are.
Yes.
You know, I can't help but pull for Lou Whitaker. Him and Allen's numbers are very similar in so many ways, and they, you know, have the longest tenure as a Keystone combination in the Major League history. And you know, again, I owe so much to Lou Whitaker, but I could depend on a ground ball, and that's pretty special when you know that if you get your pitch and get the ball on the ground, the guys are going to make the play behind you.
2-1 now to Victor Martinez.
It's interesting watching Victor as he nears the end of his career, and the fact that he still has that presence up there. You know, he hasn't changed that part. His bat speed might not be there. His legs certainly aren't what they were. But when he's at the plate, you can tell that he's a professional hitter. And you got to be careful.
2-1. Made the comment last night. I am cordial with Victor. I don't pretend to know him at all, but he's seen me around the batting cage enough over the years. I have no idea what his intentions are, but I think he'd make a heck of a hitting coach. And we talked about, switch hitter who, is a professional hitter. Chili Davis, your teammate of yours, a switch hitter, and is one of the better hitting coaches around too.
Tell you what, I'm just talking to Ron Gardenhire about Victor Martinez and also Cabrera. He likes them. He thinks they're good for the clubhouse. He said Victor Martinez, I didn't know him personally as far as, other than competing against him, but he said he's great in the clubhouse.
Well, I think both of them are going through a transition in their career where they know that leadership is a big part of who they are, who they should be.
Right.
And especially for the young Latin players, Victor has always been cordial with them. And, I would have never guessed when I played with Chili Davis that he'd be as good a hitting coach as he is.
Right.
But when I look back and remember him as a teammate and as a hitter and how he studied pitchers, I should have known better back then because it makes sense now.
2-2 and a ball rolled towards Dozier, makes the play and flips to Morrison to end the inning. They came in together and they will go into the Hall of Fame together. Jack Morris and Alan Trammell. Lowe's whole team together, focusing on the Twins' best hitters against Matthew Boyd. And Adrianza's on the list. He'll lead off the third inning. Then we told you about Brian Dozier and Robbie Grossman, Eddie Rosario. But by and large, Boyd has enjoyed his starts against the Twins. We'll see if they can make the third inning a little unpleasant for him.
Yeah, Adrianza 4 hits and 7 at bats against Boyd.
Then Buxton, then Dozier. Just outside, ball one.
Talking about Boyd, Jack, I know that you had the opportunity to talk to him, and I heard what you said before, that it was more the mental part than, the mechanical part.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of a special deal. Neither one of us were really expecting to see each other. I was at a Detroit Red Wing game because I was going to be in town with Alan Trammell to be introduced to their corporate sponsors, a big dinner. Gardy was introduced as the new manager. The entire team was there. It was kind of a big night. They had it down at the Detroit Casino. And the night before, they asked me if I wanted to go to the Red Wing game, and I said sure. I was in town. I had nothing much going on. Matt Boyd was there, and I got to talk to him a little bit. And I asked him the first question. I said, tell me about Matt Boyd. Tell me what Matt Boyd needs to do to be better. And he looked at me, and I know you've seen this look before. He looked at me like, where are you coming from? And I said, just be honest. Tell me what you think you need to do better. And he started opening up to me, and I listened. And the more I realized it was more of a confidence thing. And I've never been one shy of confidence, so I kind of gave him my wisdom about how important it is to be confident out there and trusting your stuff.
You see there, 6 quality starts out of 8, and control's not been an issue coming into the game with just 13 walks in 48 innings, but now a 5-pitch walk to start the 3rd inning.
What I've seen so far here tonight, Bert, you tell me if you've seen it different. I think he's thrown a lot more off-speed pitches for strikes, and he's thrown his breaking ball more. He used to kind of come at you with a lot of fastballs that were right over the middle of the plate, and that's where he got hurt. And so he's becoming more that finesse guy, I think, with command. But Matt really bought into some of the things I was telling him about conviction, the importance of strike one. Everybody's heard it 100 times, but sometimes you hear it from somebody new and it registers.
Push bunt, and Hicks will get the ball and then go to the bag, and Buxton might get credit for a sacrifice, even though I don't believe that was the intent.
Well, I told you numbers that Adrianza had against Boyd. For Buxton doing that, they'll give him a sacrifice. He's 0 for 18 against Boyd, so he does advance Adrianza into scoring position.
Not a bad idea, but he bunted it too close to the line, and Hicks was able to get to the ball and then to the bag. Adrianza at second, 1 down, and now here's Dozier, who tried to jerk the first pitch of the 1st inning into the left field seats and got under it.
Yeah, you made a good point there. If he would have bunted that right towards where the second baseman was, he would have probably got it by Boyd, who falls off to the third base side. And nobody's going to catch Buxton if it's just over 10 feet to the first baseman's right.
We've had Byron on, and he's talked about, you know, he's not real comfortable with that type of bunt. It's a completely different play than the bunt up the third baseline, where you try to deaden the ball. On that bunt, you want to bunt it hard, but you've got to direct it, as you said, toward the second baseman. 1 strike to Dozier. And now a ball.
You know, in a day and age where we have so many shifts, you can see where Machado is playing at second base, holding Adrianza on, and you got a lot of room over there to get that first baseman going towards second base. There's Machado at second.
1-1 to Dozier. One of the few Twins, as we've shown you, who's had some success against Boyd.
See, I've always said that's a good move right there by Boyd, because even though he did not throw, he just still showed Adrianza that he's got that move. So even though you're going to do that same move and throw home, still in the back of that base runner's mind.
Yeah, they can't go on first move when you show them that move right there.
And there it is again.
If you're taught to go on first move, when that pitcher picks up his leg, you're off to the races, and they can just wheel and throw it and you're out. You're going to get caught in between.
One and one. Foul back.
Let me ask you, how did Boyd take it after you guys had your conversation? Did it seem like he was accepting what you were saying?
You know, he was almost giddy, which made me a little nervous because I haven't been used to that. But he was so into what I was saying and believed that I spoke from my heart, Bert. I told him, look, I have nothing to gain but to help you. I want to help you.
Right.
You know, that's what we all want to do. When we're done with the game, we can't do anything else. We're not coaching. If you want to listen, we'll give you our wisdom. And he was so grateful for that.
That's good.
2-2. Well, the turnaround for Boyd actually began late last year. Now, he's put up good numbers this year, but he started to figure out some things last year in September. He was the Tiger pitcher of the month in September. He almost threw a no-hitter in September of last year. In fact, had 2 outs in the 8th inning.
Yeah, Tim Anderson.
Or 9th inning, yeah.
Tim Anderson got the hit.
2-2 to Dozier. Twins trying to break out on top with Adrianza at second. Sharply hit on the ground. Adrianza moves up a base. Dozier retired, out number 2, and that'll bring up Grossman.
June 8th is Prince Night at Target Field. The first 10,000 fans through the gates get an inflatable Prince guitar. Limited number of Prince theme night ticket packages are also available that include a game ticket and a co-branded Prince Twins cap. Go to twinsbaseball.com/Prince to learn more about the Prince guitar and the Prince theme night offer. Last year it was the umbrella giveaway, and those things were really hot on the secondary market. People sold them on eBay and got like 150, 200 bucks for them. So I don't know what the inflatable guitar will do. That ball rolls away. Here comes Adrianza, and he is out. And let's hope he's not hurt. The ball just rolled about 20 feet from home plate. And Adrianza is out trying to score on a not wild enough pitch.
Part of a pretty exclusive club. He is one of only 12 players to have ever played in the Little League World Series and the actual World Series. Lance and his team from Brownsburg, Indiana made it to Williamsport in 1999. Lance pitched in all 3 games, also played first base. Unfortunately, they lost all 3 of those games, but Lance says it's one of his favorite memories and admits at the time he didn't realize how special it was to be there. But he also says 2 things always come to mind. 1, he learned at a very young age what it's like to have to deal with us media folk. And number 2, he says one of his favorite memories is teaching players on the international teams how to say some bad words in English. I gave him a look and he said, what? I was 12 years old. What do you expect? But he did say he knows it might not have been the best decision, but he'll never forget the memories he made. Guys?
Did you play in any national, either one of you, any national tournaments like the Little League World Series or any? There probably weren't as many of them back then.
I didn't. My brother was in the Babe Ruth World Series.
He was, okay.
Yeah. Younger brother, so got to be a part of that. Went all the way down to Albuquerque, New Mexico to watch him get beat. But it was fun.
Yeah, my son went to the Junior College World Series in Farmington.
Okay.
That was it, and not myself, no.
Now, Farmington, people here, you think Minnesota, or Farmington, New Mexico.
Right.
Not Farmington, Minnesota, Tapper. And Adrianza gets in front of it, fires across. Nice stretch over there at first by Morrison, 1 away. I got to the Mid-State Conference quarterfinal game in North Central
Big crowd?
Minnesota.
Big crowd?
Parents were there, you know. Thought I had a girlfriend, she would have been there probably, but, you know, it was a small, intimate gathering.
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter what level, but when you can compete in something like that, it's special.
Well, you know, that's one of Joe Mauer will tell you that, you know, he played a lot of, you know, the advanced traveling baseball around the country, and his value in terms of draft status was enhanced because of that, because he proved that he could excel at a very high level against some of the best players in the country. One strike to Nico Goodrum.
Now it only costs the parent about $5,000 for a weekend to have a kid at a showcase event somewhere in a different state.
Yeah, and I want to get off topic just a little bit, but it's related to what we're talking about. Jack, I know you played other sports. Bert, you played basketball too. I don't know if you played, either one of you played football.
1 year of football, 4 years of cross country.
But that's a hot topic now. You know, I mean, with all these traveling teams around the calendar and parents forcing their kids to lock in on one sport rather than playing a variety of sports. And what are your respective thoughts about that?
I don't buy into it, but you know, we're slow to change, I think, when we're set in our ways. With that being said, I just think kids need to develop skills at all different levels, and you know, different sports help develop different muscles.
Right.
And, you know, I attribute a lot of my longevity in Major League Baseball from my youth ski jumping days, and it wasn't because of any complicated athletic event. It was from carrying your skis up a hill and then up the scaffolding, and it was like, you know, 400 stairmasters every single time you took one jump.
And myself, I look at my cross country days when you're out there, you know, running just to run a 2-mile meet. You're running, you know, 7 to 10 miles that the coach wants you to run to Anaheim Stadium and back. That built up my leg strength. I didn't really develop, I don't think, as a pitcher until my junior, senior year.
Sure.
Because I was, you know, a tall, thin kid, believe it or not, at one time. But I had that strength in my legs. That was
and
my
your lung
endurance.
capacity. You know, you're able to carry your own body weight.
Right. Always looked at baseball as a fitness of great pitch right there, but Marvin Hudson rings up Goodrum. He doesn't like it, but Lynn picks up his third strikeout.
2 down, and that'll bring up James McCann.
Let's see where this pitch is in the box.
I believe in the box. Firm conviction that the box is true, and that was down and away. Replay brought to you by
Well, at least for the catcher, and that's what I don't really care about this thing. There's a plate. The plate's in front of that catcher's glove, and just because the catcher catches it off the plate according to that box doesn't mean the ball didn't go through the box across the plate.
Okay, that's
you got one.
I like that.
That was the most animated I think I've ever seen you. That was good. Well, the reason I bring up the business of playing other sports, I was listening to an interview with Cal Ripken Jr. today. He was on MLB Network, and he talked about playing basketball and the quick twitch muscles that are required to play basketball, passing and shooting and running. He thought really helped him in his baseball.
Reactionary muscles that a shortstop has to react. Sure. I remember playing pickup games with Cal. We weren't supposed to be doing that.
No.
We played a few games together in our early major league career.
Did you have things spelled out that you couldn't do?
Yeah,
I did.
I had a list of like 200 things, and I told our general manager in Detroit, I said, you will never know how I got hurt, and it certainly won't be anything on this list.
If I couldn't leap off any tall buildings, or I couldn't run faster than a locomotive. No parachuting.
At least you couldn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
1 and 2.
Skydiving and auto racing and those kind of things. Motorcycle racing, which
Contract
is ironic.
was guaranteed, and
1 and 2.
Did it
James
anyway.
McCann. And now 2 and 2.
See the twist right there by Lynn, and that's what we see. That means that he's almost stopping to be able to twist like that.
Well, I
And
think
then
part of
your
it,
momentum going toward the hitter.
part of it is where he is on the rubber and the fact that he's trying to stay away, and it's almost got to be a perfect line to that catcher's glove when he's sitting outside. Even harder to throw it inside.
Good sinker there.
And Lance Lynn enjoys his first 1-2-3 inning in the 4th. And in the Twin Cities. By Grant Casino, the best stories start here. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. See if the Twins have better at-bats against Matthew Boyd, second time through the order. Lance Lynn has enjoyed 4 shutout innings here.
He's got to feel good about what's going on so far. It's been a struggle for Lance, and even though it's only 4 innings, or 4 innings where they didn't score, he's got to feel better about everything after going through a few of those.
And
innings.
the way he's going about it, 7 ground ball outs, only 1 fly ball out with his 4 strikeouts. So
And
no walks.
No walks. Yep. Here's Grossman, 1 strike. And now Lowe, 1-1.
And Boyd's almost the opposite so far. The 9 outs, 6 have been fly ball outs and a couple ground ball outs.
A couple of Adam balls, right, Bert? Yep. Hit him hard and happened to be a glove right there. It helps you out a lot.
Just missing 2 and 1. Boyd came to the Tigers from Toronto along with Daniel Norris for David Price a couple of years ago. There's a breaking ball, backdoor breaking ball for a called strike.
Yeah, Boyd actually made his major league debut in a Blue Jay uniform back in June of 2015. Made a couple starts, and then the trade was made about a month. He was up and down with the Blue Jays.
Just missing the outside corner with a fastball.
But
Now,
finds himself in the starting rotation for the Tigers.
It's interesting, he used to throw harder, and he's backed off his velocity to try to improve his command. What a concept.
The art of pitching instead of throwing.
And Grossman draws the 2nd straight leadoff walk the Twins have taken from Boyd. And that'll bring up Eddie Rosario. Bert Blyleven was known as having the great curveball, maybe the greatest of all time.
That's Wally Joyner.
And Jack Morris, of course, emerged as one of the dominant pitchers of his era with the splitter. Or forkball.
I got to ask you, when you pitched your no-hitter, Lance Paris was catching you.
Yeah.
He came out and gave you a bear hug. Now, he caught me in Anaheim. He's the last guy I would want to grab me the way he did you.
Well, it was one of those awkward moments where neither one of us knew who was going to pick up each other. And so we slammed into each other, both thinking we were going to lift the other guy off the ground.
Lance won.
Lance won.
He's strong.
And that wasn't the only time that he put me in a bear hug, but I can't tell you about the other one on the air.
Here's a drive to right, and it's hooking foul. I'm glad you brought that up, because I've often wondered, and I think you've noticed, we have this great World Series, and it's Game 7, and it's 10 innings, and Gene Larkin hits the fly ball and lands on the turf, glad, and comes home. Have you ever noticed that as he got to home plate, everybody jumped up in unison?
Except me.
Except you?
I've got this tremendous picture. It's one of the best pictures I've ever seen in my life. It shows a picture of me, and it appears to be picking up Dan Gladden, but everybody is in the air, so it looks like I'm picking up the whole team. And I said I was.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Symbolically, you did.
You did pick up the whole team.
But it's amazing how when you see the video, when you see it in motion, Gladden hits home plate, and everybody, I guess, but you, jumped in the air at the same time.
I wanted to make sure he touched home. I was watching his feet. What a moment.
1-2 to Rosario.
What a game.
Might be 2. It's 1. And Rosario beats the relay. Grossman forced at second, and Escobar will come up with a man aboard.
Well, Jack, I know we talked in our pregame about how you learned the split finger, and we've got a baseball right here. Was it pretty simple? I mean, you got strength in your hand right there. Is that something you improved on, or did it just?
No, I think I've always had a real strong, loose wrist, but strong fingers.
Right.
And I just found a place that worked the best, and it was the pressure that I had right here and here. It wasn't deep on my knuckles. It was right on the fingertips. And when I had it on the nose seam part of the ball, when the ball came out, it spun like your curveball. It tumbled that way, and it got that counter spin. And that's what created that downward plane.
So but did you, like my curveball, always thought fastball, fastball, curveball, and you probably did the same thing with that.
Yeah, it was totally fastball. Everything was fastball about it, except at the end I had to get my wrist on top and pull through the baseball. And as time went on, I was able to put more pressure on one finger or the other to have it go left or right. That's how good it got after a while. But initially, I was just trying to get my fingers through the baseball.
Now, you told me that, and I think fans would like this, you worked on the bullpen, and then you threw a couple, and you go, wow.
Yeah.
Did you take it right into the game, or did you keep
I gave it one more bullpen session before I trusted it enough. But I figured, this is, by design, this was a swing and miss pitch. I know your curveball. We saw those great curveballs on the video there. And I was just kind of chuckling to myself. I said, look at the location. Every ball was down below the knees when it crossed home plate, and the hitter was already committed. Well, that was the story with my forkball. I wanted to bury it in the dirt, hoping that if they're looking for a fastball down, they couldn't stay off of it. They were already committed. They couldn't guess both. And I know that was the case with your curveball. Couldn't look fastball and get the curveball. You're already gone. And so, that's what made both those pitches, I think, similar in the success we had with them.
1-1 to Escobar. Twins trying to take advantage of their second straight leadoff walk.
See, we were lucky enough to have two good secondary pitches, and even though people say you had a great forkball, I had a good curveball, we still relied on the fastball.
Absolutely.
We saw that box that we show you here. We were able to work that box to get ahead, to get our strikeout pitch, and that's what my curveball was. My strikeout pitch, yours was a split finger.
Yeah, I would still, I don't know for a fact. I'm sure we could go back and look at video and determine that. That's what records are all about. But in my heart of hearts, I threw 65-70% fastballs every game. The forkball was when I was ahead and I wanted to get a guy to chase. I trusted my catcher. I don't know how many times I threw it in the dirt on purpose, knowing that the catcher had to block it, maybe pick it up and throw the guy out. But that was the design of it.
Ground ball to third. Goodrum fires to second, and now the Tigers get a double play grounder. We head to the fifth, and our thanks to Jack Morris. We'll look for you on the postgame show.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
While visiting the Hjemkomst Center Museum. Hjemkomst is Norwegian for homecoming. You can find a unique getaway at exploreminnesota.com and share your favorites with #OnlyInMN. I had a cousin who worked for that museum years ago. And we go to the fifth inning here with no score. It'll be Jacoby Jones, Jose Iglesias, and Dixon Machado for the Tigers here in the fifth. And Lance Lynn has had a very solid outing here. 3 hits, but no runs scored. No walks.
11 first pitch strikes of the 15 batters he's faced.
Jones, the last Detroit batter to get a hit. He got a double into the left field corner with 2 outs in the second.
Indians are playing at Wrigley Field. They're leading 10-0 in the 6th inning. And it's amazing how it works out. You win a couple of ball games and everybody just feels better about, the season, even though the Twins still have a losing record. And there is a sense, I think, that if Lynn can be a consistent pitcher, and he has been that in his career, that, believe it or not, the Twins rotation might be the one reason why this team can get back above 500 to stay and take a run at the Indians. Now, the Twins don't have Corey Kluber or Carlos Carrasco, but they do have a deeper rotation, I think, than the Indians do, and that will only get deeper with Trevor May, Irvin Santana. There's some help down in AAA. Steven Gonsalves has been pitching well down there.
That's a nice problem to have. Brios right now kind of leading the staff.
2-2 to Jones. Twins starting the day a game behind the Indians, but the Indians have played 3 more games than the Twins. Dribbled up the line, and there's no chance. An infield hit, a leadoff single for Jones.
Well, no chance again because Lynn did the little spin around and took him toward that first base line, and by the time he could react, it kind of a swinging bunt gets Jones at first base.
Indians have played 2 games more than the Twins, not 3 as I said. Here's Iglesias, hit a fly ball to center, his first time up. Of course, the Twins with 43 games played because they lost 4 games. One of them has been made up, but they lost 4 games to home postponements. They'll get no sympathy from the Tigers, who have had 7 postponements already this year. Tigers had a 4-game series with the Yankees, and they only got 1 game in, like the Twins did with the White Sox. Jones can run, and he's at first with nobody out. Chopper towards second, and out at first, and here comes Paul Mahler to talk about obstruction with Jones cutting in front of, and it appeared nearly making contact with Brian Dozier.
Yeah, I don't know if he made contact or not.
You have to give the fielder the freedom to field the baseball.
Brian coming in, you see Jones.
He stepped on him.
Yep. Yep, there was contact right there.
And that is clearly obstruction.
Now, is this reviewable?
Oh, look it up here. Not had this play before.
No.
Yep. Paul's about as animated as he's ever been. Second base umpire is Quinn Wolcott.
Well, you see Jones right there, hitting the right foot of Dozier.
Obstruction is not reviewable.
Well, looks like they're going to review it. Or they're coming over.
It says a non-reviewable interference and obstruction is a subjective call, not reviewable, but perhaps the umpires can agree to take a look at it.
I believe now, is it Jones who would be called out, or is it?
I think it would be a double play.
Find out what the ruling is.
The Tigers are challenging the out at first base.
Well, there's definitely contact right there, but Brian's throw over to Morrison.
Is there enough there to overturn that? So my information is correct. The interference and obstruction is a subjective call, and so that is not reviewable, but instead the Tigers are challenging the out call at first. Tigers successfully challenged a run scoring play last night. Out at first, so there is an out at first. There probably should have been obstruction called on Jones, and instead he's at second base with 1 out, and Machado will bat. Machado hit a ground ball to Escobar, his first time up.
To be honest with you, I don't know what if that interference was called. Are both runners out, or does Jones have to go back to first? And
well, the runner's out. The runner is out for obstructing, and I don't know that the runner at first would be out too. That would be assuming a double play that you can't do, right? At any rate, a speedy runner's at second with one out, and the count is 1-0 to Machado. Tapper again to third. Escobar fires across, 2 down. Second time that Machado's grounded out to Escobar.
It's a nice play by Escobar, coming up a double clutch, make sure that Jones stays at second.
June 1st is Skol Night at Target Field. A limited number of Skol theme night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and a Twins purple Skol cap. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/Skol or call 800-33-TWINS. 2 down. Jones at second. Now Martin.
9 ground ball out so far for Lance Lynn, so he's doing a good job of keeping the ball in the infield.
Adrianza cuts behind the runner.
Remember, as a pitcher, you don't always have to throw too, because Adrianza did a good job daylight play, but what you want to do is step up. Exactly what Lynn did. Don't want to throw home with your shortstop standing at second.
Fouled away.
Lynn signing a 1-year contract with the Twins back on March 10th, so a late signee for the Twins. Tommy John surgery a couple years ago. Last year kind of a rehab year for him with the Cardinals.
Carver catches one down and away, 1-1.
Still pitched 186 innings last year after the Tommy John surgery. Big out right here with Castellanos on deck. He's been swinging a good bat.
Chop foul 1-2, and even the foul balls. I mean, we haven't had foul pop-ups. I guess we had a couple early, but they've all been beaten into the ground around home plate.
Only one fly ball out. That was Iglesias to end the second inning. But we'll take a fly ball out here. Be the third out.
One and 2.
Carver sitting inside.
On the ground. Morrison has it. He flips to Lynn. Inning over. 5 shutout innings for Lance Lynn.
Ball, where it's a TRIA Tuesday. TRIA Orthopedic Urgent Care open 8 to 8 daily. And we've got a scoreless ball game here going to the bottom of the 5th inning. Mitch Garver will lead things off against Matthew Boyd. Given the Tigers 6 quality starts in 8 tries, and he's well on his way again here tonight.
Yeah, pitch count very good. 51 pitches, 34 strikes for Boyd. Couple walks, no strikeouts yet for him.
One and 0. Now Boyd has committed the cardinal sin for pitchers. He's issued back-to-back leadoff walks. And now he falls behind Garver. He survived it. The Twins, in fact, got Adrianza in the 3rd inning as far as third base. He was out trying to score, and there's a strike, 2-1.
See, and that's a confidence he has on his other pitches other than the fastball right there. Fastball count, just change speeds. Got it over the plate with that changeup.
3-1. Boyd's really trimmed his time between pitches this year, and they say that's one of the reasons why he's been more effective too. But for the 3rd inning in a row, he has issued a 5-pitch walk to start the inning. Tonight's Coors Banquet timeless moment occurred on this day back in 2002. Governor Jesse Ventura approved a financing framework for a $330 million open-air stadium. The bill was the result of a 7-year effort by the Twins to secure help from the state. That had to have been, I mean, the math doesn't add up here. 2002. That wasn't Target Field. Target Field opened in 2010. And that was Governor Tim Pawlenty who spearheaded that drive. 1-0 to Morrison, and he takes ball 2, and now McCann will burn a trip to the mound.
Yeah, first visit to the mound for the Tigers.
Again, walks haven't been an issue for Boyd this year. In fact, he's been one of the best in the league at limiting walks. But 3 tonight. Came into the game with just 13 walks in 48 innings.
2.4 walks per 9 innings.
Morrison. And a foul back, and he even hit that foul ball off the end of the bat. He got a single hitting one off the end of the bat. Goodrum double clutched on his throw. Morrison beat it out. Off the plate, 3-1. Lamar hoping for a chance with a couple of men aboard. Ball 4, he walked him. A pair of walks to start the 5th, and let's check in with Audra Martin.
Well, guys, earlier you were talking about the benefits of playing multiple sports, and Ryan Lamar is all for it. He was a star baseball, football, and hockey player in high school in Michigan. In fact, hockey was his #1 sport, and it looked like that was going to be his path to a pro career. But when it came time to choosing between going to play juniors in Canada, he decided to stay in his high school where his dad was the head coach. Eventually, baseball, of course, took off, but he credits hockey to why he's such a good baseball player. It says it helped with his speed speed. He's got those long strides as if he's on the ice. He's not afraid to crash in the walls, and it's helped with his instincts. He actually grew up with former Wild player Steve Kampfer. Was supposed to be in his wedding this summer. Of course, though, Lamar's baseball career has gotten in the way of that, guys.
Well, we're going to have a trainer visit now. This is a little ominous for the Tigers. And when a guy who doesn't walk people starts walking people, you have to wonder physically whether he's okay.
Yeah, season high right now for Boyd with the 4 walks. Ron Gardenhire out to see what's going on there.
There's so much riding on this young man in terms of the rebuilding process in Detroit. And I'm sure they're going to, if they err at all, they will err on the side of caution. And I'm guessing they're going to get him out of the game.
Yeah, by his reaction right there, this bullpen starting to stir, or something will be coming in.
We know this about Ron Gardenhire during his time with the Twins. Very much a player's manager, very protective, as all managers should be. And they're not about to take any risks with Matthew Boyd, and we will let you know what the issue is as soon as we find out. So whoever comes in now will have a chance to warm up on the game mound for as long as he needs. And they're kind of scrambling down there right now. Warren Saupold is going to come through the doorway, and he pitched last night. So we'll have a bit of a delay in the action here with the Tigers concerned about their ace left-hander Matthew Boyd coming out of the game after issuing back-to-back walks in the 5th inning.
I live here. I've got a house still, so I love this place. And this organization, they showed me the most respect you could get as a coach and a player and as a manager. So you know what? I've always loved this place. It will never go away. But now I've got a job to do, and that's to bring these guys in, my Tiger boys, and try to whoop their butts. So that's going to change. And but this place is, I have a lot of history here and a lot of great friends, and that won't ever change.
Great credit to the Twins organization, and spent a lot of years here. 6 division championships here.
Good man besides a good baseball man. Just a good man.
Well, some discouraging looks from the dugout. We can't blame them. When you go through a rebuilding process, as the Tigers are, and now here comes Ron Gardenhire to talk to Marvin Hudson again. When you go through a rebuilding process, there are as many disappointments as there are pleasant things that happen. Well, here's something that's been pretty pleasant. You know, the development of Boyd into someone they hope they can count on, and now physically something's happened and he's had to come out of the ball game.
Steve Little right there, the bench coach for Gardy.
You look at the pitches, and got one in the strike zone, but the others, even on 3-1, that last pitch, that's That's not Matthew Boyd to miss the strike zone by that much.
It really didn't give any indication if it was his arm or something else. Hopefully he's okay.
Usually if it's a finger, if it's a blister or something, they'll look at it,
right.
And we didn't see that either. So Warwick Saupold, who finished the ball game last night, only threw 10 pitches. He's going to get as much time as he needs, and he says he wants 2 more.
Yeah, Saupold, 28 years old. 3rd season with the Tigers. Actually started in the bullpen of the Tigers this year. Was optioned out and then re-emerged again with the Tigers back on April 20th, making his 18th appearance.
Well, we're just in the 5th inning here, but in getting Boyd out of the game, and with Daniel Stump struggling and throwing 21 pitches in the game last night, he is their only left-handed reliever. So what we see now is Kepler hitting for Lamar, because the Tigers in reality don't have much of an answer or response from the left side. And so Kepler will take over for Lamar in right field. Lamar had 1 at bat, went 0 for 1. So a chance for the Twins to break out on top, and they have the freedom to go to their limited bench because the Tigers can't respond with another left-handed pitcher. 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Outside, ball 1. Kepler's, of course, made so many starts. Had a chance to pinch hit much, only 1 other time. And he takes over the inside corner a strike. One thing with the roster move, the designating for assignment of Phil Hughes and the addition of Ryan Lamar, Twins for the time being are going with 12 pitchers, which means they have an extra bench player, a total of 4, and they're using one of the moves now. 1-1. Good eye by Kepler, and we can talk about his approach at the plate all we want, but what we've seen this year is a much more patient Max Kepler, taking pitches that aren't strikes.
You can see by the numbers the Twins doing a good job as pinch hitting.
2-1. Pop straight up in the air into the twilight, and Goodrum in foul ground makes the catch. 1 away in foul territory. That'll bring up Adrianza. The Twins made a move today to getting a powerful bat out of the Angel organization. He led the National League with 41 home runs just 2 years ago.
With the Brewers, right?
Yes. And he was released by the Yankees last season, and so the Twins have acquired Carter, and at the very least he'll provide some power on the Rochester ball club. There's a pretty good chance that some of the power on that Rochester club right now isn't going to be there much longer. Miguel Sano went 3 for 4 tonight with a 2-run home run. Here is Adrianza. Twins need to take advantage of this gift they've been given by an ailing Matthew Boyd. Fouled away, 1 strike. Adrianza walked to lead off the 3rd inning. Worked his way to 3rd base, then tried to score on a pitch that rolled away from the catcher, but he was tagged out easily by the pitcher, Matthew Boyd. One strike. And now a ball. Outside. 2-1. Generally, things have not gone well for the Tigers whenever they've turned to the bullpen, and now they have to turn to it to get at least 15 outs. Lynn hoping for some run support here in the middle innings. McCann, and it's 3-1 with Buxton on deck.
Adrianza should get a fastball right here.
Much better right-handed hitter than left. Hitting just 169 from this side of the plate. Driven to the gap in right center field. Castellanos won't get there. It one hops the wall. Garver scores. Morrison is being held up, and Adrianza tees off and drives in the game's first run.
Well, the count was in his favor. 3-1. The fastball. Adrianza did not miss. Nice uppercut swing right there. One hopping the fence out in right center. And the fastball down. Adrianza picking up his 4th RBI of the year on the RBI double.
And now 2nd and 3rd. 1 out. Buxton at the plate, who tried to bunt his way aboard for a hit. He failed in that, but he did get credit for a sacrifice. Now the infield's going to shorten up here with Buxton at the plate.
Come on, Bucks, let's go, kid.
Buxton pushed the bunt up the right field side of the infield. Bounced foul, a strike.
Yeah, this the infield not all the way in on the grass, mainly I think because Morrison at third base doesn't have real good speed, so they can back up a little bit even if the ball is hit to, say, Iglesias or Machado. Corner infielders playing about even with the bag.
2 out there for Buxton to get. He's had just 3 runs batted in on the season. The take, 1-1. Another nice take. Byron's taken a lot of pitches, but generally he's been taking strikes. Now he's taking balls. That's a sign of improvement. And it was a strike as it turned out. Should have been called 1. And there's a called strike. 2-2. On deck. Chopper. Morrison will try to score, and he will be tagged out. 1st and 3rd, now 2 down. Second runner that the Twins have had make an out at home plate.
Yeah, running on contact right there. Goodrum making sure he throws a good strike to McCann behind the plate. Morrison tagged out for the 2nd. So Buxton unable to drive in an extra run.
We'll see with 2 outs whether Byron tries to steal 2nd. There's some speed across the diamond at 3rd in Adrianza. Dozier at the plate. Ball 1. One and 0 to Dozier. And Buxton checked at first while Adrianza dances off 3rd.
Yeah, he's doing a Rosario over at 3rd base.
See how close to the line Goodrum is. He's just about 4 feet off the baseline. Strike called, 1-1. Came in handy when Garver hit a liner over the bag, and Goodrum was able to make a nice backhanded pickup of the line drive.
One on the board for the Twins, looking for more. And Bryant chases an upstairs fastball, 1-2. Bryant's average down to 228.
Surprised Buxton had to not tried to steal yet.
Now he goes.
There he goes.
And the pitch driven to the right field corner. It's down for a hit. It'll get to the wall. It'll score 2. Dozier with a 2-run double, and it's 3-0.
Howard Byron Buxton off. He scores easily, so a big hit for Brian Dozier right there, driving in a couple runs. Once that ball got past Castellanos at right field, Buxton is off to the races. See a high fastball. Brian taking it the other way. A big 3-run inning right here for the Twins, thanks to Brian Dozier's 2-run double.
And the Twins scoring 3 times after the back-to-back leadoff walks to start the inning, and now Grossman as a left-handed batter facing Southpole. Outside, ball 1. Grossman lined out to right field as a right-handed batter, and then drew a walk leading off the 4th. Nearly hit him. 2-0.
Well, the 2 leadoff walks that Boyd allowed kind of set up this inning. And again, hopefully Boyd is okay.
That's hit to left center field. Jones retreating, making a leaping catch, and falling to the turf. Nice play by Jones. But the Twins cash in the 5th, scoring 3 times.
No matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Beautiful night here at the ballpark, and finally in the 5th inning, the Twins score 3 runs, in part because Matthew Boyd left because of an injury. Big 2-run double for Brian Dozier. And now Lance Lynn, who's been awfully good here tonight, giving up 4 hits but no walks.
And he'll face Castellanos to start the 6th inning.
A big inning right here for Lynn, for a couple reasons. Get through this inning, be a good quality start, maybe another shutout inning.
And a base hit up the middle again by Castellanos. Again jumping on a first pitch fastball. And it'll bring up Victor Martinez.
Castellanos, a couple hits in last night's ball game, picks up his 2nd hit here. Fastball pretty much right there. Get the ground ball, but it's back up the middle.
Max Kepler is in right field, replacing Ryan Lamar. The Twins still have bench players Bobby Wilson, Gregorio Petit, and Jake Cave. And a pitch just off the corner to Victor Martinez.
Let's see if Lynn's been getting a lot of ground balls. Let's see if he can get another ground ball. Hit into that double play in the 1st inning. Martinez did.
Tapper. Dozier will get the lead runner, and because Martinez runs so slowly, they get the double play. Hardly a tailor-made double play, but Martinez runs so slowly, any ground ball is a candidate to turn 2.
Oh, those knee surgeries, of course, Martinez cannot get down that line very quickly. Brian Dozier knows, I need to get the lead runner right there and then let Adrianza do the rest. Good hard throw over to Morrison. Good stretch. And the 2nd double play turned behind Lance Lynn. His 6th double play turned behind him so far.
I'm surprised the Tigers didn't have them take a look at that. Of course, they already used their challenge, didn't they? And they lost that. Because it looks like Martinez might have beaten it. Oh, look at this. This could be a really quick inning. And Lance Lynn breezes through the 6th. 4 pitches thrown in another shutout inning. Pepsi fans of the game enjoying a beautiful night here, enjoying the 3-0 score. Steve Flegel, he has the night off. He works on our crew and he's got good seats somewheres. Here is Eddie Rosario with Matthew Boyd leaving the ball game in the 5th with what we've been told is a left oblique strain. So the bullpen will pitch most of the game here tonight. And to tell you all about the new Detroit pitcher, Here's Bert Blyleven.
Yeah, Buck Farmer coming in for the 24th time in his 5th season with the Tigers, up and down the last 4 years. Farmer's 23 strikeouts in 20 and a third innings.
Hit on the barrel out to the center fielder, and it is an oblique spasm, not a strain. So we want to make that clear. Rosario, retired Twins fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go, presented by T-Mobile. Download the app and take Fox Sports North and Twins baseball wherever you go. One down quickly in the 6th. And now Eduardo Escobar. Well, you just had the sense, didn't you? At least I did, that something wasn't right with Matthew Boyd. He doesn't walk people. That's one of the reasons why he's been so good, and he ended up walking 4 batters out of 8 plate appearances. 1-1.
Could have felt it, in the bullpen earlier, tried to pitch through it.
Well,
who knows?
Whenever it started twinging or spasming, Tigers did the right thing getting him out of there, because if it is just a spasm, he might not have to go on the disabled list at all. But if you try to pitch with it and provoke it, you might be gone for 6 weeks.
This guy right here has kind of been a mystery to the Detroit Tigers, Buck Farmer. He goes down to AAA every year, and there's a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, and Black picks up a strikeout. Great AAA numbers, minor league numbers, but up here they just have not been very successful numbers. Straight over the top fastball. See a little bit of movement. That's strike 3. Mainly a starter in the minor leagues. 90 minor league starts, an ERA about 3.5, but up here in the big leagues coming into the season, ERA at 6.8.
Strike 1 to Mitch Garver. Garver drew the 5-pitch leadoff walk in the 5th and set the stage for a 3-run inning.
Farmer with a fastball. We saw the 96, a hard slider and a changeup.
Big swing and a miss.
There's a slider right there.
Well, you're talking to Twins fans, and I'm guessing they are pretty familiar with pitchers, position players who've done well at AAA but can't make that transition and have success up here. It's the final leap forward in a professional baseball career, and whether it's through coaching, personality, when the guys who succeed at AAA can make it up here, well, the rebuilding can be done rather quickly. You think back to the group about 15 years ago when Tom Kelly was leaving the managerial chair and Ron Gardenhire took over. And the Twins had a whole cluster of guys who took the AAA success and had success here. There were some uneven moments, but you had Torrey Hunter, Jock Jones, Corey Koski, A.J. Pierzynski, Guzman, Rivas. I mean, they all. Mankiewicz, yes. But if you don't have that, if the guys can't take that last step, well, Twins fans know all about those dark days too. 3-2 to Garver.
Sometimes players come up here, they try to be too fine. Good fastball right there. So a couple strikeouts for Buck Farmer, quick. Bottom of the 6th inning. Well, scoring in the bottom of the 5th inning, Adrianza's RBI double made it a 1-0 ball game. And then a couple hitters later, it was Brian Dozier's 2-run double that gave the Twins a 3-0 lead. And Lance Lynn, 6 shutout innings so far, 84 pitches. He has been right on. A lot of ground ball outs. One fly ball out for Lance Lynn and 13 ground ball outs.
Nico Goodrum will lead off the 7th inning. Twins got 8 innings from their starting pitcher Jose Barrios last night. And now Lynn in position with 84 pitches thrown to hopefully complete 7. And just missing the outside corner, ball 1.
Well, I think what happened, 4 pitches last inning, real quick. He all of a sudden, he's got a chance to get into through the 7th inning.
Sharply hit. Adrianza keeps the glove down and throws him out.
And another ground ball out.
It's about the journey, not the destination. Unless the destination is $5.6 million. Download Beat the Streak today. Start your streak to compete to win $5.6 million. Download Beat the Streak in the App Store or on MLB.com/BTS. I guess when you think of Lynn's outing here and all the ground ball outs, these days with everybody practicing lifting the ball and being told, don't hit the ball on the ground. We want the ball in the air. That's where the money's to be made. That's where the extra base hits are. So don't hit the ball on the ground. And to get so many is in some ways a measure of how good he's been tonight. The Tigers are up there. They've been trying to lift the ball and they can't.
Well, he's left some pitches up, but mainly I think he's done a great job of balancing himself over the rubber better, allowing that arm to catch up and creating that good downward plane that's getting all the ground ball outs.
2-0 now to James McCann.
Hitters aren't going to hit that ground ball if the pitch is belt high up.
Right, but I mean, if you pitch up there, but the ball still has some downward movement, you can still get a ground ball on a pitch that's elevated a little bit.
Yeah, but he's done a good job with his fastball and slider keeping that ball down.
2-1 now to James McCann.
The longest outing so far of the year for Lance Lynn. See the movement on that pitch right there.
That's what we were saying in the open. Twins had a terrible April and May's been a lot better. But over the course of the 6 months, this rotation could, believe it or not, be a strength of this team 1 through 5.
Well, that's why I think that Derek Falvey and Thad Levine went during the winter and got Odorizzi, got Lynn. They know the importance of starting pitching. Nobody expected Irvin Santana to have the injury he had.
Right.
So you stick him with Barrios and Gibson. That's 5 pretty good guys right there.
Well, but Lynn's signing, you can understand why that might have been a response to finding out about Irvin Santana not being available for the 2 months. So they go get a veteran who's had some success, has eaten up a lot of innings, and he'll be the first to tell you that he hasn't had the type of year he'd like. But starts like this will go a long way toward boosting his and the team's confidence that they can count on him every 5 days.
He's got to have over 4 months left of the season. This is only his 10th start. Hopefully he'll have, like he had last year, 31, 32, 3 starts.
3-2 to McCann. Up the line, foul. Seven pitch at bat, and Lynn last inning in the 6th inning threw only 4 pitches.
He's given up 5 hits, 4 singles, 1 double.
Ryan Presley getting loose. There hasn't been a batted ball put in play in the air since the 2nd inning. I mean, the hit that Jones got was an infield hit. The hit that Castellanos got was hit on the ground.
Both Castellanos base hits on up the middle in the first inning and then last inning.
Full count to James McCann. There's one put in the air, and it might be playable for Morrison and foul ground. Out number 2.
Well, Lynn wins that big battle right there.
Showstopper tonight. Seems like more often than not, Mookie Betts is in our showstopper segment. Another home run tonight, 16 on the year.
He's having an MVP year right now in the first couple months of the season.
Red Sox beat the Rays 4-2. Blue Jays beat the Angels 5-3. And in the top of the ninth, the Indians beating Cubs 10-0 at Wrigley. 2 down, and now Jacoby Jones. And he hit him. Jones hit, and that'll bring Iglesias up.
Yeah, first hit batsman of the year for Lynn.
I think it was a breaking ball, and he got Jones in the back of the arm.
Spun, yeah. You can see the breaking ball just kind of hanging inside. And Jones not really trying to get out of the way. He has that pad on that left arm.
Garvin Alston will make a trip to the mound. Just want to make sure that Lynn is okay. Go after Iglesias. And hopefully complete 7 shutout innings here tonight.
Yeah, most pitches Lynn has used in a ball game, 105. That's his second start of the year here against the Astros, where he worked 5 shutout innings.
Presley's had ample time to warm up. The Twins, I think, would like him to start the 8th inning. Iglesias, the last batter to hit the ball in the air. He had an inning-ending fly ball to Buxton in center to wrap up the 2nd inning. Backhanded by Garvin.
All right, you can see, you know, you get deep into the ball game. It kind of showed the same thing of Barrios last night. How do you get into the 7+ innings? By having quick innings, other than the 3rd inning where he needed 21. The other innings outstanding.
And now 2-0. Now he's just hit Jones, but he's gotten to this point of the ball game without walking anybody. Of course, walks have been the biggest issue for him. He didn't walk anybody in Chicago in his first start of this month. 6 innings, gave up a couple of runs with no walks, and he'd like to do that again here tonight. 2-0 to the number 8 hitter. And if he doesn't get Iglesias, it's probably going to be the end of the night.
What you don't want to do is start aiming the ball. That's what it looked like he tried to do. Just throw it right down the heart of the plate right now. You see the frustration of Lynn right there, trying to guide that ball over the plate. Let her fly.
And he missed with 4 straight. And now the tying run will come to the plate, and the manager will come to the mound.
Well, even though it's his first walk, a heck of a performance here tonight by Lance Lynn. So it's baby steps, but he took a big step forward here tonight.
Taking a shutout into the 7th inning and then getting a couple of fairly quick outs. And Lynn will check out. A little upset with himself, but folks at Target Field, I think tonight for the first time, got a chance to see what Cardinal fans had seen the last several years, a really good starting pitcher. Never know it looking at that.
Yeah, you know what? I like that. You know what? He wanted to finish the inning. He knew what he wanted to do, but he was unable to. So, hey, show emotion. I don't mind that at all. It means he cares.
And now Ryan Presley will face the tying runner at home plate. And it's Mikey Matuk.
Yeah, good numbers for Ryan, making his 24th relief appearance. Good hard breaking ball. We've seen that fastball in the upper 90s, hard curveball, slider.
1 strike to Matuk, hitting for Machado, who had bounced out to Escobar at third base twice. Matuk a bigger, more powerful hitter, and the Tigers are taking a shot here with 2 men on. 96, and Gerber had to adjust to make the catch on the pitch. 1-1.
Matuk spent some time in the minor league, started the season with the Tigers, got sent down about 3 weeks, recalled on the 9th of this month.
Swing and a miss.
Matuk coming over from the Ray organization in a trade with the Tigers back in January of 2017. Hit 276 last year, 12 home runs for the Tigers. Runners on the bases, Lynn's responsibility, as they were for Boyd when he left.
Ooh. Presley delivered 97 at the belt. Matuk was waiting for it. Fouled it straight back. Hildenberger and Duke getting loose. One and two to Matuk. Breaking ball, and he was right on that one too.
Both those pitches up about the letter high, so get that ball down.
Presley a strikeout guy, 24 2/3 innings and 33 strikeouts. He doesn't need Matuk to swing and miss here. He just needs him to pop it up. Blocked by Garver. Now it's 2-2.
You want something to happen here. You don't want to go 3-2. That'll get the runners on the bases moving. Martin on deck.
Two from Presley to Matuk. Breaking ball, got it.
He took something off that curveball. Big strikeout for Ryan Presley.
Matuk fouled off 90 miles per hour. He waved and missed at 84 miles per hour.
Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Lance Lynn given a reprieve with Ryan Presley getting the final out of the inning for him. But a really good outing for Lynn. And now the Twins will bat in the bottom of the 7th, leading 3-0. Logan Morrison facing Buck Farmer.
Let's go, kid.
Now Farmer had a big 1-2-3, a quick 1-2-3-6 inning. A couple
strikeouts, yeah. It really spotted that 96, 97 mile per hour fastball in some good locations.
Pete Cosma taking over at second base.
Strike 2 call. Morrison, Kepler, and Adrianza here in the Twin 7th. And now outside, 1-2. Final game of the series is tomorrow. Final game of the homestand, for that matter. Then the Twins will go to Seattle Thursday to start a series on Friday. Mariners really banged up. They put D. Gordon on the disabled list today with a broken toe. Swing and a miss. And Morrison strikes out. 1 away.
Farmer picks up his 3rd straight strikeout.
Next, Kepler will bat.
Farmer coming right at the Twins with this pitch right there, the fastball in the mid-90s.
Replay brought to you by Carrier. And now Kepler, 0 for 1, entered the game as a pinch hitter and fouled out after Boyd left the ball game by walking the last 2 batters. Just outside, ball 1. Kepler taking some early hitting today, getting flips from James Rowson and working on driving the ball up the middle and to left field. We were talking last night about Kepler, who's as good as he's been against righties and lefties. He's still very much a pull hitter, and here they were working on something today to try to get him to use the whole field more. I believe this with all my heart, Bert. I think this lineup, as much as it struggled, and once Sano comes back, hopefully that'll help. This team will finish in the top 5 in the league in runs scored.
I hope you're right.
Outside, they put on a mad rush towards the end to climb into the top 5. You take the 15 teams.
Get the lead, you can have some fun. Romero wants to hear the crowd.
There's one driven to the gap in left center field, deep towards the bullpen and off the wall. Kepler just missed, hitting an opposite field home run. The very thing he was working on in early hitting today, and it pays off in the 7th inning.
Well, James Rowson has to be very happy at that swing right there, letting the ball get a little bit deeper into the strike zone. And then you see the power that ball down. And we know that Kepler likes that ball down, driving it against the chain link fence out by the bullpen. So it's a double for Kepler.
Almost out. And now here's Adrianza. Adrianza rifled a double to the gap in right center field to drive in the first run of the 3-run 5th inning. One and 0. That's hit well to left center field. Chased by Jones. He won't get there, and it bounces into the crowd for a ground rule double. Adrianza's 2nd double of the ball game.
Tell you what, Adrianza, this is a good night for him right here because he had been struggling offensively,
particularly from the left side of the plate.
Yep. So he drives in his 2nd run of the ball game. Buck Farmer showing that fastball, but the Twins, like an off-speed pitch right there, a changeup. at 87. But a good swing right there. One hopping the fence and over the fence.
And we'll see what Buxton can do here. 0 for 2, tried to bunt his way aboard. Actually 0 for 1. Was given credit for a sacrifice, and then he bounced out into a fielder's choice in the 5th. And Buxton lifts it foul over the Twins dugout. Doesn't sound like much, but I think you're looking for baby steps and little hints of improvement, and we're seeing more foul balls going down the opposite field line from Buxton. One of his issues has been being very pull conscious, and the foul balls have been pulled so violently and so very far foul. And now strike 2. Duke warming up. Looks like he'll get the 8th inning. Addison Reed is warmed up. Two strikes. Driven to left, a base hit. He got a breaking ball. Rounding third, coming home. A run will score, and Buxton's safe at second base. And Buxton drives in a run, and the Twins have scored at least 2 more here in the 7th.
Well, it looked like an off-speed pitch, and Byron a little out front. Just hit it in the left field. Take a look. Adrianza rounding third. He'll score. Look how quick Buxton got to second base. So Buxton driving in a run, his 4th of the year.
"23 years old, and he looks like he's been here for 5 years. Romero just loving being around the game. So 3 straight hits after Farmer had struck out 3 straight batters. And now top of the order, and Brian Dozier. Down and away, ball 1.
And I think this is what the Tigers have seen from Buck Farmer. They've seen some glimpses of hope, but tried him in the starting rotation, just has not panned out. They'll send him back down, and he'll pitch well down in Toledo.
Spazio, the pitching coach. Wade McClendon sitting next to him. 1-0. Now a strike at the knees. Brian Dozier with an awfully big hit, an opposite field double into the right field corner his last time up. It came with 2 outs in the 5th. The Twins had 1 on the board, but they really needed not a knockout punch, but they needed to give Lance Lynn a little more run support, and Dozier provided it. Second hit of this series, both of them going to right field. And what we've seen with Brian getting more hits to right field, we don't see the extreme infield shifts for Brian as much as we used to. A lot of that depends on who you're playing, but generally the second baseman has been in the vicinity of where second basemen have been standing for 125 years. 1-2. Just off the plate and held it. No call.
Yeah, pretty good pitch right there by Farmer. A hard slider.
Perfect spot.
Not called.
or foul? We've discussed this before, and I think I know the answer. Your thoughts on the electronic strike zone?
I don't like it.
You understand it's inevitable, right?
I hope not. I hope not.
I can't wait.
Why?
Buck Farmer should be off. He should have the second out here. He threw a strike.
It's been that way for 180 years. Why change it?
All right. Well, we used to, travel by covered wagon too, but we don't do that anymore because there's a better way to do things.
I hope that never comes into play.
Another base hit to the opposite field for Dozier. He'll drive in the fleet-footed Buxton. Dozier digging for second, and a really good night for these Twins hitters here. Most of the damage has been done to the opposite field.
Yeah, a lot of extra base hits. That's 3 doubles this inning, all off of Buck Farmer. Dozier driving in his 3rd run of the ball game. But to see a location right there, it's a breaking ball, but thigh high. And Brian waiting back nicely, shooting it into right center. Buxton scores easily for the 2nd time in a ball game.
4 straight hits. And let's go back to the first one. Kepler driving one to the gap to the opposite field. Adrianza with a double to the opposite field. Buxton pulled his hit, and now Dozier again to the opposite field. And it's 6-0 with a couple of 3 spots up on the board and still only 1 out. Here's
It's nice to see in this ball game it's the lower part of the lineup.
Yeah.
Kepler getting the double, but Adrianza a couple hits. Buxton scoring a couple runs, picking up an RBI.
Grossman has hit 2 line drives to the opposite field, but both have been caught. Paul Molitor half in jest saying, well, maybe if we see enough finesse lefties that eventually we'll figure some things out. And although this damage late in the ball game has been with right-handed pitchers on the mound, just some much better at bats here tonight. There's Daniel Stump. He's getting loose. Rick Anderson in the background.
Twins have 7 hits, 5 doubles in the ball game.
2 strikes now to Grossman. Pitches up.
Nice crowd here tonight, 25,559.
And Grossman takes the call, 3rd strike. That's out number 2.
Farmer picking up his 4th strikeout.
Are you game for a little excitement? Well, honestly, who isn't? Who isn't? Head to FoxSportsNorth.com, submit a photo and message for the opportunity to be featured in the Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle during our broadcast and receive $100 in scratch tickets. With the Minnesota Lottery, every day is game day. Eddie Rosario. A couple of outfield flies. He reached in a fielder's choice.
He's been quiet tonight.
Well, he didn't really get going until the 8th inning last night.
Yeah, I mentioned at that time it's very seldom that he doesn't have a hit in a ball game.
And then he got the
double.
Right. Dozier at second after his double. Brian with 3 runs batted in the ball game. Foul over the Tiger dugout. Indians beat the Cubs 10-1. Twins hope to get the game closer to the 500 mark. If they win tonight's game, they'll be 21-23, and the Indians with their win just climbing back to the 500 mark.
It's kind of your goal throughout the summer. Just hover around 500, hopefully get above it. But get back to it first.
In the American League, if you're in the American League East, 500 it means you're lost already. You're 10 games out. 1 and 2.
You got the Yankees and Boston going back and forth.
And then you got Tampa Bay, and they're a game below 500, but they're 9.5 games out. 1-2 to Rosario. Tap to the left side. And Goodrum. They say he's out, Steve.
I think Paul wants to look at this.
Yeah, I think they'll probably take a look at this. Jeff Smith, the first base coach, pretty sure that Rosario will get a base hit upon review. Let's take a look. I think he got there, but I don't know that they'll replay it or overturn it. By inches, I believe he's safe. Inches meaning the distance between the ball and the glove.
Back of the glove.
It has to hit the back of the glove.
Right.
The foot is on the bag right there, and you can see the ball has not reached the back of Hicks's mitt. So if they do this right, Rosario should get rewarded for his hustle.
I think they're going to call him out.
You don't think they'll overturn it?
No. I don't think his foot was quite on the bag. Take a look right here. Is that left foot on the bag? See, the heel is.
Yeah. If the first contact with the bag was on the ball of his left foot,
right,
then maybe the ball is in the glove. Earlier, the Tigers lost a challenge. And then had a reviewable play that they couldn't review because they lost their challenge. Oh, so you're right. So the inning ends. The Twins get 4 straight hits, 3 doubles in that span, and they will put up the game to 6-0.
Anthony LaPanta inside Mall of America studio. On this day in Twins history, Michael Kadire hit for the cycle in an 11-3 win over the Milwaukee Brewers. Kadire started it with a home run and completed the trick at the Metrodome. That was May 22nd, 9 years ago. Now let's go back to the ballpark in Dick and Burt.
Where the Twins, who haven't had many comfortable leads, now have a 6-0 lead. And Zach Duke comes in to pitch to the Tigers in the 8th inning.
Yeah, Zach making his 21st appearance. He's pitched very well out of the bullpen. He allowed 1 run over his last 12 outings.
Tap to the right side.
Another ground ball out by the Tigers.
Morrison to Duke. Twins changing pitchers, but nobody can get the ball in the air regardless of who's throwing. This summer, the Twins are offering baseball camps designed for kids ages 6 to 14 of all skill levels. Campers receive a full Major League Twins uniform, a VIP trip to Target Field, including a chance to meet a Twins player and coach, plus much more. This is as close to the Twins baseball experience as you can get without being drafted. Learn more. Sign up today at twinsbaseball.com/training.
Very educational for anybody that wants to attend that camp.
Castellanos has had a good series here. 1 strike.
And he swung at the first pitch, which he did in the first and the 6th inning. He got base hits. So Duke starts him off with a breaking ball.
Victor, you looking to the right or left side this year?
Down and away, 1-1.
Left to right this year. Huh? Left to right this year. Side of the plate. You good on both? Hitting 229, man. I know. You got a better feel for either side? Sometimes. Hey, man. Watch the putter. Putter? Yeah.
With the Twins brain trust, Derek Falvey, Thad Levine did in the offseason was bolster both the bullpen and the rotation pitching wise with veterans. And now here we are wrapping up the 2nd month of the season, and the veterans, for the most part, Santana's not back, Trevor May's coming back soon, but the veterans are pitching the innings up here, and pitchers who in other years might be up here trying to figure things out up here. Reed and Rodney, 2 of the veterans brought in. Guys like Alan Buznitz, who I think is going to pitch up here an awful lot this year. Steven Gonsalves and some of the other top pitching prospects are left in Rochester to get a little more seasoning. And the pitching staff has needed so much help up here in recent years that those guys would be up here by now. They'd be pitching up here whether they'd succeeded or not. There were no other options. So in addition to having the veterans pitching the innings here, there's Castellanos swinging and missing for out number 2.
And Duke picking up a strikeout. I agree with you, Dick. You know, you had a Reed, you had a Rodney, you had a Duke, which again is guys that have been through the battles and they know they're going to, Duke started the season poorly, but he's really picked it up as of late. You can see the different angles, different pitches that Duke throws. Guy that came up with the Pirates as a starter.
Aaron Slegers is just having a wonderful year at AAA, the big, tall right-hander. And in other years, he would be up here, but he is getting more development time. I'm sure it's frustrating for him. He's whatever he is, 5-1, 6-0, something like that at Rochester, with an ERA of under 2. 1-0. Swinging a foul. John Curtis, a reliever who was up here earlier this year. He's got great AAA numbers, but he's getting a chance to fine-tune his game down there.
But what we're talking about, these 3 guys that we're talking about are veterans. They have been through it. They know how to pitch.
Now, all that said, the most exciting pitching performances for the Twins this year have been put together by 2 23-year-olds, Romero and Barrios. 2-1.
Can never have enough pitching.
And driven to the corner, and how many bases can Martinez get? He'll round first and hold up there. From the corner, Rosario threw right to the second base bag, and if Martinez hadn't held up, he would have been thrown out at second. It's a single on a ball hit all the way to the wall in the corner. Join Fox Sports North as we inspire girls to be healthy and confident at the Alaris Mortgage Girls on the Run Twin Cities Spring 5K, Sunday, June 3rd, at the Mall of America. To register or volunteer,
Visit www.gotrtwincities.org/5K. That's a mouthful. Let me do it again. See if I can do it. www.gotrtwincities.org/5K.
Well done.
Thank you.
Do it one more time.
I'm out of breath. 1-1 to John Hicks. And 2-1.
Duke, 34 years old, signed a one-year contract with the Twins.
Foul.
Last couple of years with the Cardinals, he went through the Tommy John surgery. Came back late last year for the Cardinals. 27 relief appearances, became a free agent. The Twins went out and got the left-hander.
Pulled foul. There are 4 teams in the American League that have won fewer than 4 games out of 10 on the season. Baltimore, Kansas City, and Chicago. They've won less than 3 games out of 10 this year. And Texas, and of those 4 teams, the Twins have only played the Orioles, and they won 2 out of 3. On the ground, weakly hit. And out at first, and a scoreless 8th for Zach Duke.
Nothing lead over the Tigers. Stay with us after the game for Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We will break down a very impressive night from Lance Lynn. A much-needed strong performance out on the mound. 6 2/3 scoreless baseball from him, and he had some quality run support thanks to the Twins, who were able to take advantage of a golden opportunity in the 5th inning. We'll look back at how it all unfolded, and we will hear from Paul Molitor. That's coming up after the game, guys.
Yeah, Twins trying to win their 3rd game in a row. Trying to even the mark on the homestand at 4-4. Here's Escobar facing Daniel Stump. There's a drive hit very sharply to center, but right at the center fielder, Leonis Martin.
Yeah, Stump worked in last night's ball game. Just a third of an inning, gave up a hit and a couple runs. He had control issues. He walked 3, but one of those intentional. He got one loss in last night's ball game.
And now Mitch Garver. Garver is lined out to third, walked and scored and struck out. We'll expect to see Bobby Wilson catch tomorrow. Garver has caught 3 games in a row. The Twins have won all 3 by scores of 3-1, 4-2, and so far tonight 6-0.
That'll be Kyle Gibson on the mound tomorrow afternoon, starting at 12:10 against right-handed pitcher Michael Fulmer.
So to the extent the Twins have won 3 ball games in a row, if they win tonight, and maybe they've only given up 3 runs over those 3 games, well, tip your cap to the catcher. Here's a drive to deep center field. Martin back, and he'll make the catch on the warning track for out number 2.
Yeah, about 405 feet away.
Twin season ticket packages are now more convenient than ever. All traditional ticket plans include unlimited ticket exchange options, so you never have a ticket go unused. Season ticket holders are also automatically enrolled in the Sweet Spot Benefits and Rewards program. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/season tickets. Matt McGill getting loose, so he'll get the 9th inning. Morrison with an infield hit, a walk, and a strikeout tonight. Strike on the outside corner.
Stump probably saying, why couldn't I do this last night? Bases loaded. It was Morrison that he walked to force in the 2nd run. Excuse me, the would be the 3rd run.
Yeah, the go-ahead run. Yeah.
And scored 2 that inning to beat the Tigers last night, 4-2.
Fastball up. Morrison fouled it straight back. Morrison getting a long run at first base. Joe Mauer came to the ballpark again today, and Paul Molitor said the symptoms have gotten a little bit better. Dribbled in front of the plate. McCann has an easy play. Throws out Morrison, and the Twins go down 1-2-3 in the 8th inning. Well, the Twins double play combination has picked up a whole bunch of doubles here tonight. Dozier's got 2. Adrianza's got 2. And the Twins Twins have a 6-0 lead as we go to the 9th inning. And Matt McGill will pitch for the Twins, starting with his at bat against Nico Goodrum.
Yeah, good numbers for Matt McGill since being called up from AAA in late April. Signed a minor league contract with the Twins over the winter in January.
Missing outside ball 1. Goodrum's 0 for 3. Then it'll be James McCann. He's 1 for 3. And then Jacoby Jones is 2 for 2, and also having reached base by being hit by a pitch. Missing again, 2-0.
McGill with a fastball, good slider, occasional curveball, changeup.
There's a strike, 2-1.
Straight over the top, and he has a little bit of a hesitation when he gets to that balance point. Make sure that he stays back, and that's what we were talking about Lance Lynn about being able to do. Watch him stay back right there.
That'll reach the seats, 2-2.
He's kind of a step and then a little bit of pause right there. Allow the upper torso to catch up with the lower part of your body.
And bounce foul to Paul Molly, waiting on the top step. Two and 2 to Goodrum, leading off the Tiger 9th. Swing and a miss, and McGill comes back from 2-0 to strike out the leadoff man.
And this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
McCann 1 for 3, singled his first time up. McGill trying to pin it down for Lance Lynn, who's in position to pick up his 2nd win of the year.
Twins looking for a shutout here too. It'll be their 5th shutout of the year as a ball club. McGill, one of those guys that when he first signed with the Dodgers back in 2008, mainly a starter, came up to the Dodgers in 2013, made 6 starts. Only other appearance in the big leagues besides here, 2016, and 5 relief appearances with the Cincinnati Reds.
Tigers have exploited that hole right up the middle. It's about their 3rd or 4th hit here tonight. A 1-out single from McCann.
McCann picking up his 2nd hit.
This summer, the World Cup is coming to Fox and FS1. Every match live and over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event begins June 14th on Fox and FS1. Jones at the plate. He's got a couple of hits. He was hit by a Lance Lynn pitch in the 7th. If you have said it once, you've said it 1,000 times over the years. It all comes down to pitching, pitching, pitching. Well, if the Twins win this game, and let's just say it's 6-0, they will have followed a 3-game losing streak at home with a 3-game winning streak. In the 3-game losing streak, they scored 12 runs. And so far, if this is a 3-game winning streak, they've scored 13 runs. The run scoring about the same. The difference, of course, is
pitching.
There you go. 1-1 to Jones. And now 2-1.
Well, you'd like to go night after night and rely on that pitching, and there sometimes, you know, you have to win ugly where you score more runs than the opponent. But all in all, as a starting pitcher, all you want to do is keep your club in the game so they have an opportunity late in the ball game, where the Twins have won a lot of games late because the starters have kept them in the game.
2-1. And a strike 2-2.
I mean, decision-wise, the starters for the Twins, they're 12-12 as a group, while the relievers are 8-11. So there's a lot of decisions out of that bullpen. Used to be starters had, you know, maybe 70% of the wins and losses.
Right.
Not anymore.
That was back in the covered wagon days. There's a called third strike, 2 down. And that'll bring up Iglesias.
So second strikeout for McGill.
Day games after night games, you gotta love it. CenturyLink. What's next? Michael Fulmer going for the Tigers. Kyle Gibson for the Twins.
Fulmer won his first major league game against the Twins here at Target Field. And Kyle Gibson looking for his second win. He's pitched good. Still looking for that second win. His first win, I believe, came in his first start in Baltimore. So it's been a while.
And McCann goes to second. Twins don't care, and a pitch called a strike. Defensive indifference called. Morrison wasn't holding him. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, good slider right there by McGill.
Play better baseball here at home the last few games. That's nice to see.
Get that shutout.
Pitches up. On the ground, right to Adrianza, nice high hop, and the game ends. The Twins got their shutout, and Lance Lynn had his greatest start as a Twin.
Yeah, good start for Lance Lynn. He needed that. I know that he was a little frustrated he couldn't finish the 7th inning, but got some offensive help. A lot of doubles for the Twins offense tonight as they beat the Tigers 6-0.
Tom, the Twins have followed a 3-game losing streak at home with a 3-game winning streak, and despite that losing streak, they got a chance for a winning homestand tomorrow.
Yeah, Twins improved to 4-4 so far in the homestand, thanks to another solid start and impressive hitting display. Up next on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We'll talk about Lance Lynn's performance, what the Twins did with their bats, and hear from Paul Molitor.